Morning, guys. So this Saturday's project is brought to you by this box of awesomeness from Kleinn air horns. I was lucky enough to be selected to participate in the beta program. I've got a Can-Am Maverick X3 Max XRS. It's a 2018 model. I think this kit fits the 2017 through 2019 model years. So a quick unboxing. It's got a number of smaller boxes inside, including this one, which has most of the hardware. This has got the actual air hose in it that you'll use to inflate tires or your buddy's tires if you're out there on the dunes. The box originally came with one bundle of airline, and a second one was shipped in an envelope, so they're probably working out the exact kit since it is still part of the beta program, but we obviously have plenty of airline. The envelope that had the second airline also had these official Kleinn Too Loud, Too Bad earplugs. So I'm excited to get to use those later when we test this. Lots of protecting cable protectors there, wiring protectors, more hardware, the wire, the relay, the switch, the zip ties. By the way, the instructions are very good. They have the diagrams here, and the 40-page instruction booklet also has lots of diagrams, wiring diagrams, and so forth. Really good. So there's the brass hardware. Some washers, and I've seen 2 or 3 brackets, at least 3. The kit will get installed in the back area of the X3, so you'll have a component on the left side of the rear area, another one on the right side for the tank, and then the real fun stuff, which I'll show you in a moment, gets installed up front. Some more brackets, more hardware. This is the air compressor. It's 150 psi with 100% duty cycle, which means you can run it continuously. And it's waterproof, so I'm excited to get that installed. You can see the 1-gallon air tank that will be installed in the rear cargo area, and the real fun, the dual trumpet air horns. I think these approach 150 decibels, and get installed up front on the Can-Am behind the front shock area on the bulkhead and the hardware. So the installation process is estimated to take between 6 and 8 hours. So here's a look at all of the different components that were in the box. Got the air tank, the dual trumpet air horn. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different brackets. The protective wire loom, the 2 different bundles of airline, the air hose itself, which comes in that bag I showed you earlier. It's got the different hardware and includes a provision for mounting the the coupler on the body of the X3. So you'll be able to just take the air hose right out, use the quick coupler, get connected, and air up or air down, or help your buddy out. Here's a quick look at the instructions that came with everything. Packed inside the box was a quick way to use your smartphone to get to the installation instructions, download them in PDF, print them off. 40 pages, very well detailed, includes all of the different parts, shows very good step-by-step instructions, includes photos of an installation, different diagrams that really explain how everything goes together in a very detailed way. And of course, Kleinn air horns, too loud, too bad. Like it. So on my 2018 Max XRS, you can see that this is a California model. Living here in California, they have very stringent air quality standards, and as a result, they have very tough emissions requirements. So if you have a California model, instead of being able to mount the compressor bracket here, you'll find that there's a fuel evaporative canister that is part of the emission systems for any California-based Can-Am. So obviously I didn't want to take this out. Kleinn, the company itself, was not aware that California models had these here until I took some pictures and sent the emails and let them know. So it's been a few months since we began working on this again, and instead of doing this, where you can see the bolt would mount here and then this would go across the around the down tube, instead I worked with a local manufacturing firm, Machine Works, here in town, and I've developed a pattern, and they've built this shelf for me. So here we are after a couple of months, finished up with the Kleinn air horn installation here on my 2018 Can-Am Maverick X3 Max XRS. So I've got a 4-seater, and because it's a California model, I was not able to install the compressor in the left rear quarter panel on the cargo area above the driver's side rear wheel. So instead I worked with a local machine shop, made a pattern, and then worked with them to build a shelf that ultimately I installed here underneath the right rear seat. And as you can see, I've used some heavy-duty rubber and a clamp to support the left front side of the shelf, and I've used a hole, an existing hole for the seat mounting bracket, to support the right front side of that. And at the rear, the shelf itself is installed on the right rear seat bolt. So plenty of room for installation. You can see the very clean completed installation of the compressor underneath the seat. It saves it from being mounted to the thick plastic skid plate, keeps it protected. The passenger doesn't have to fool with anything. It's out of their way. There's still plenty of room over there to keep the winching accessories kit that we have. And I'm pretty pleased with the way the installation turned out. So as you can see, there's the larger diameter plastic line for the inlet of the compressor. Is mounted right there and routed back along this tube, and I've been able to install the intake for the compressor inside of this housing, and it worked out really well. Keeps the intake for the compressor up out of any area that could have moisture come into it. The filter itself is mounted where the inlet holes are facing down, so rainwater is not going to get in there. Just really pleased with the way that it all worked out. So the finished installation includes the air tank in the originally designed location above the rear right wheel. You can see the air coupler itself, where I can connect the air line and inflate tires or help buddy out, whatever you need to do. And ultimately it worked out really well. Unfortunately, it did take a couple of extra months as I was working with Kleinn air horn. They've got a great product, but you know, the original design did not contemplate having that fuel evaporative canister you know, in the left rear wheel well location. So ultimately took a bit more time, a bit more interaction, a bit more expense working with the machine shop to get it all accomplished, but it turned out really well. I'm really happy with the installation. It's a great product, Kleinn. You've done a great job. And I guess the only remaining question is how it works. So, as Kleinn likes to say, if it's too loud, well, too bad. Love it.